time. I don't even understand what the hell's going on.
Hi.
Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of BPMs. I am Papa Bear, a.k.a. Blaine. To my left is Jan, the photographer.
Oh, yeah.
And to my right is... What? Who is this?
I broke in to hang out with you guys.
Oh my God, she's going to murder us all.
Probably.
I'm okay with this.
I mean, she's got the cat ears. She's got to commit felonies at this point.
And the claws.
It's freaking me out.
And the claws. Holy shit. Hold that back up again. I want to see those. Those are dope as shit. How did I not notice that before?
They got flames on them, dude.
They are flaming death.
Yeah.
Oh, they're cool. That's all I was saying.
I literally glue them on with super glue. So.
Nailed it.
Man.
You can do this too if you want to.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so, Summer, how are
forgetting
you?
something.
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. What, she needs to introduce herself to everybody real quick.
She doesn't need to introduce the shit.
Summer, would you mind introducing yourself to the lovely audience out there?
Sure. So I'm Summer. I'm the vocalist of Third Park Avenue, and I'm just here to chill today and talk about stuff.
Sweetness. Well, thank you for joining us today on BPM, where butterflies, poetry, and manslaughter come to all the greatness that the world has to offer with pretty kitty ears.
Yeah.
Pretty kitty ears. But today, I think the topic that we have decided on for each other is that Summer was very big into the mental health of the music scene. So kind of broad topic, but I mean, we can kind of just dive into all sorts of different aspects of it. And I know that you utilize a lot of the mental health status in your guys' lyrics, how you guys are going about writing your music and your approach to things. But so when you brought that topic to us and said, hey, I'm really down with that one, I was like, well, we haven't touched on it yet, so we might as well have some fun with it. So.
Sure. Yeah.
I think a lot of us are in this music scene. You know, we're artists, we're creators, because we suck at expressing our feelings normally. So
there's no doubt about that whatsoever. But I also think it's also a good empowering way for people to
for sure.
get those emotions out in ways that they could never really healthfully do at any other point in their life, really. So, Summer, why are you so drawn to this topic of the mental health in the music scene?
I think it's because music in general has always helped me with my own problems. So when I was old enough to develop feelings and understanding of myself, I was like, well, I mean, I got stuff I need to deal with. And if I can write music that helps other people deal with their problems, then that's the best thing that I could do.
Absolutely. I can remember when I was younger that my mother used to always play things like Elvis and the Cars and stuff like that. I never actually got into like the metal industry until I was, 16 or so, 17. I went a long time without ever listening to like metal. The hardest thing I'd ever heard was U2. And but it's one of those things that I always still related with music. And I think that goes for just about anybody who's passionate about music. And even if they're not, I mean, think about the standard person who gets in their car and Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time pops out.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
they just lose it and they're doing the dance number and they're shaking it and they're doing their thing. And it's like, that's still mental health. I mean, that's like you're finding
it's a coping mechanism.
Well, not just a coping mechanism, but it has an effect on every person differently.
That's fair.
For some people, that Britney Spears might be like, a sign of dread.
Yeah.
But for other people, it's like that dopamine rush of like,
yeah.
I want to have fun and I want to break out and have a good time. It's super unique how like it affects everybody in such a different way.
Definitely.
That's what I have with country music. I feel like it really takes me places. Like if I go somewhere and they're playing country, I go somewhere else.
Now, sir, I happen to enjoy country music, so you just shut your dirty little mouth. And don't you ever disrespect Tim McGraw, or I will smack the hell out of you. So how about we go ahead and let you start it off then? What facet of the mental health in the music scene would you like to start with? And let's see where we kind of just dabble from there.
I mean, my favorite thing to talk about when we talk about mental health is writing using your problems and using that as inspiration to create something that's therapeutic for you and therapeutic for the people that come and listen and hang out and have a good time and releasing all those emotions and stuff.
Okay. So when you're writing your music, now there's usually, I like to call it the 4 different aspects. There's either love, depression, hate, party. That's kind of the 4 that I usually find is it's like, okay, most music falls into somewhere in those categories. There are others, obviously. There's like the storytellers. There's definitely different facets of the music, but I find that most emotional basis is based off of those four.
Yeah.
When you guys are writing music for Third Park Avenue, what facet do you guys think you usually fall into?
Usually it's probably depression and party. So,
Yeah?
yeah, usually.
Your party animals?
Yeah, the newer
Depression
stuff.
party animal.
I can't wait to hear them cover Red Solo Cup. I fill you up
with my feelings.
with my
Yeah.
feelings.
There's a couple of like mushy stuff, love songs and stuff like that, but usually
there's
it's
nothing
like the
wrong with
harder
that.
stuff to deal with that we write, or I write lyrics about.
There's a party on Third Park Avenue.
I can't.
What you gonna do? I'm in a mood today, dude. It's all
I can
good.
tell.
It's all good. Okay, so what would you say is like a song that you would suggest for people to check out from you guys that would like really like give them like the overall envisioning scope of like what you try to go for?
So a lot of our older stuff is what's out and available. So probably. Wow, I blanked on my own music's names. That's terrible.
I forget I'm in a band from time to time, so it's
You're
all
in a
good.
band?
I don't know.
Okay. Fair point. Fair point.
Buried Alive is probably a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and what's the basis of that song about?
That one's, I wrote the lyrics in high school from like the perspective of a teenage girl trying to deal with being responsible for yourself and dealing with the world just being a hard place to be in. So that's pretty much, it's about fighting your way up from that.
So it's a love song to the IRS.
Leave it to Jan. So more or less, it's kind of like being buried under the weight of everything of your responsibilities and trying to find yourself, and then digging your way up to finding how you're going to be. So, okay, that's really cool. Go ahead.
So I love that you have it in there. One thing that I'm just curious about that I think is interesting is how do you get to a point where you decided I'm going to write this into songs that I'm going to perform publicly?
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do, to put all of your like emotional weight out there and be like, hey, I'm sad.
Right.
But I think it's just the motivation is like trying to help other people that are feeling those same things, or at least resonate with somebody, so you can feel the same vibes, I
And
guess.
did you ever have like the fear of like, what if nobody resonates with this? What if this is just me?
What if I'm just complaining a lot? Yeah.
Hi, I just like to cry. If you want to cry with me, come on.
And I think that's very reasonable. I
Yeah.
think part of that too is that you have to realize that you're never truly alone in things you're going
Definitely.
through. Have you found that you've got responses from people on that music, on those lyrics, where you're like, I was not expecting this person?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, there's been several people, usually they're, teenagers or early 20s that are like, this really resonated with me and I understood it. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm glad that it touched somebody,
Well,
No, that's fair.
from the basis of what you were saying about the song, too, though, it's about finding that early adulthood and coming into yourself. And for some people, that's not until the early 20s, when it's like, oh, wow, I'm about to become a parent, or, oh, I really need to move out of my folks' house and I'm done with college. Where do I go now? You know? So, I mean, that's not surprising that would be that younger category.
Yeah.
And I'm going to presume that you probably wrote that in your younger years as
for
well.
Sure.
So
I was
it's
like 17, 18.
right. So I mean that makes sense that you would be able to reach out to that demographic with that kind of music. When you started writing your music, is that kind of like, were you seeing other people of your age category like kind of going through the same struggles? Is that kind of, because you were saying that you like to share that music in hopes that somebody can relate to it or grab onto it and grow from that, because your experience is kind of like teaching them that experience to a degree. Is that what you were kind of hoping for, is to help like your fellow human, earthly, non-alien
We can help the
What are
aliens,
you
too.
trying to say about aliens, bro?
bipedal creatures of the world?
I'm legally an alien. What are you trying to say?
No, you're illegally an alien.
What? Mr. Biden, can I please stay?
You do not have your card yet, sir.
I fucking do.
You don't. You're not a citizen yet.
I'm a resident alien. That's literally the title.
But you're not a citizen yet.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Still an alien.
I don't want to be an American. God, this is gross.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I mean, yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Where's
Got
your
him.
pistol? Pew, pew.
Oh, man, I fucked that up.
You got a bayonet.
I'll just add like eagle noises or something.
She can just hand you her hand and you can just stab people like it's a bayonet with the fingernails. Sorry. Anyway,
are you gonna be okay?
She said the bayonet part. I just ran with it.
Did. I'm just wondering if you're gonna be okay.
No, I'm not okay.
You're not okay.
I'm not okay.
Do you have feelings?
I do.
Write a fucking song about it. Okay.
So, but no, I'm glad that you're able to kind of write that and think to yourself like, hey, there's other people out there. I want them to be able to know that they're okay.
Yeah.
This is normal feelings. It's not like we have to struggle with this alone.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really find too is that the metal community as a whole generally, you remember how I was saying that it's either going to fall into love, hate, depression, or party.
Yeah.
So much of the metal community and alternative community really falls into the camp of depression and hate. There's some love songs in there, but usually when metalheads write
like
love
Pantera's
song,
"This Love,"
right? But like when a metalhead writes a song, it's usually, even if it's a love song, it's so hard for them to like find the like. We're not singing like "And I love you," it's not some pop ballad. It's just like, I would murder the world for you, kind of a thing. It's like their love is almost just like, I would kill anybody who tries to take this from me kind of a thing. And that's one of the things that I've always found so fascinating about mental health in the music scene is that when I say music scene, obviously that covers every genre. We obviously talk more along the lines of alternative metal, punk. We have dived into rap and a couple of others, but really that's our wheelhouse staple. But we don't really have that wide variety. Now, partying has really become a big thing as of late in the metal scene. But love is still something that they don't really touch on. And I almost actually wonder from time to time if that's kind of like a mental drawback for us, because we don't really ever grab onto anything that we love and sing about it. And it's really interesting for me because I can go through bands and bands and bands, and I think the only songs that I've ever can really state that like I've heard that had some basis towards love was towards kids. And that's the only thing I've ever really heard people grab onto in the metal community.
I mean, I listen to weird folky shit. There's a lot more lovey stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I would bet you that that's probably true. Let me rephrase that. In the United States, I don't. No, I'm clarifying because he does have that overseas knowledge that I have no clue on.
And it's also like the types of metal you listen to. Like if you're listening to more of that like goth metal, the soprano style metal, that a lot of it is easier to go into more touchy-feely stuff. I mean, God knows like Nightwish, which is a metal band, has a fuck ton of love songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also think too that they're also not based in the United States.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Well, no, I'm not trying to dog you.
No,
most of the ones that you would probably throw me are probably not from the United States.
Yeah, but that's because I mostly listen to bands that are not from the United States.
Well, and that's because you have that. You were raised in the Netherlands, so I mean, for me, it's like the closest things that I can be like. It's like I know Rammstein. It's just like, yay. I mean, I know more than that, obviously, but it's one of those things where that's really not a very common topic in the United States metal scene, and I think As I Lay Dying has one. And there's a couple more, but I don't have my
Puddle
phone,
of Mud has...
She fucking hates me. but on that same turn, they also have that other song that was all about him talking about his love for his son. Mm-hmm. And it's almost always draws back to kids. Now, I'm not going to say that's 100% perfect facet, but what I was getting at is that I think the metal community finds its strength in the fact of that anger and that party more than anything else. The depression's there too, don't get me wrong. And there are plenty of songs about like heartache and depression and everything that's been going on in that side of the music scene. But when you go to the other genres, like the flip side of the music industry, when you go into your pop and your country, and I mean, there is millions of love ballads. There's millions of songs about that kind of stuff.
I do think that when you're looking at metal and rock and punk as a counterculture. I think that's a lot of it. I think a lot of people are in this scene kind of fell into this as a home when they felt they had nowhere they belonged.
Right.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think that kind of ties into not just the music itself, but the mental health conversation within the United States, which is one that's long overdue.
Which was funny because that's how I was going to wrap this into the next part. Well, no, he actually did do exactly what I was trying to aim towards, and the fact that it's like there's not a lot of love in our music industry, as far as like true genuine love. There's heartache, which is depression. There's the anger, falls into the hate category. But the thing is that, like you were saying. Most people in the community, not just the musicians, but the fan base, feel like they're outcasts, feel like they don't have a place of purpose. They don't have a place that belongs. They don't have their community with them, which is one of the reasons why I enjoy doing Papa Bear and Associates so much, is because that is like my goal, to make everybody feel welcome, to feel loved, to feel like you are my family.
Yeah,
like,
and I think that's why people come to the music scene, come to shows, is they get to be around people that, one, they get to see cool bands, but they get to be around people that understand them.
No,
Right.
it's definitely a sense of belonging. I mean, for me, at least.
Same here.
That's what drew me to the music scene. And it's one of those things that, you get people who, like I said, maybe don't have the best communication, but we all have something we're trying to say or, scream
Convey
into
in
a
some
microphone.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where that definitely adds a sense of belonging, a sense of community, and that is just something that I think as a human being is important to have.
Oh, definitely.
But it's what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that I'm not too far off with that? That like love is kind of like the missing piece in what we do in the metal industry?
I love you, bro.
Yeah, I feel like you're right, and there's a couple of songs that I've written that are mushy, and lovey, and it's kind of feels weird to put them out and play them, because I feel like the mood is changed once you start playing something like that. And I think maybe that might be one reason why there's not so much, is because there's already not a lot of songs like that being played on stage. So it's like you come up there and you're like, I love you.
Right.
And everyone's like, okay, where's the mosh pit though?
Right.
It's like, where's the breakdown? Where's the beat? I won't blast beats. What the fuck? The band sucks.
But that brings up a good point too, though. So would you think that maybe it's fair that maybe it's not the fact that we don't want to have love in our music industry of our facet of it, so much as that we feel that it's just so out of place in our facet?
Because honestly, like, if I was to be watching a band play and they started playing a love song, I wouldn't be thrown off. But I feel like as a band, when you're up there, you don't want to be the person that makes the whole show feel weird,
Right.
So it could be something like that.
Oh, so it's almost kind of like a nervous, like you don't want to let down your crowd kind of a thing. It's
Maybe.
like we've been doing like banger after banger, and then it's just like love.
Yeah.
But I think that's also a good chance too for where like most of those ones that I found where it's like love for your kids and stuff like that. Most of those, they're not performed live. They're on the album, and you find those. And so once you've like, oh, this band's really awesome, I'm throwing down the $5-10 for the album. That's where you get to discover that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, hey, because actually a lot of my favorite songs are those ones that are never performed live, because these are where real true emotion is coming out. Like they weren't the ones that are going to get the crowd pumping and jumping and all that stuff. They're the ones that it's like, okay, now when you've given us a shot, we want you to hear the other side of our emotions, kind of a thing.
Yeah, so maybe it's like a performative thing where you like want to keep everybody hyped.
Well, that's the goal when you're doing
Yeah.
live music, is you don't want to bore people when
Yeah,
you're doing
definitely.
live. So. But the more you can keep that energy hype rolling, the better off everything always rolls for a live performance.
I do think that within the alternative, the metal, the rock community, there is that underlying love for each other, and it might not be within the actual music itself, but it is definitely within the community. I think going back to the sense of all of us being some form of outcast at some point in our lives, even just telling your musical taste to someone you barely met. It's like, I like music where it's the singer sounds like it's Cookie Monster, but he's been smoking since he was 3 years old.
Cookie.
And you get a reaction that's usually a little different. But it's one of those things where, within this community where we all have experienced that, there is a love for each other where, I'm like, man, let's headbang to this song about murdering people because we love each other.
What you're doing right now is exactly it. How many times have we gone into a pit and just some random guy just puts his arm around you and you're just like, yeah. You're just going to town. Whenever somebody falls in the pit, what's the first rule? Everybody stop, get them up.
Yep, exactly.
Stuff like that. We really genuinely watch out for each other. And even when we get drunk and get into fights, usually you'll still see the two people that got into a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry about that, bro. It's just like, it's one of those things where it's just, we really do look at each other as like, we're our own little misfit band of happiness that we find in each other.
I wonder if that's why familial love songs are more prominent, because it's like we're in a giant family, so singing about family, everyone's going to resonate with that, because it's like, well, we're all here.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
I feel that. Yeah.
One of the things I would say, though, is that the only concern that I have with a lot of our community base of our facet of the music industry is that I really worry, because we really have never let go of that sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of a thing. Yeah. And one of the things that I would like to bring up in the mental health side of things is just substance abuse, like a mother. And I will not deny that I think the only ones who could probably even come close to us would be rap.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's their whole thing too, get high, drink, do stuff with hookers and at prom.
Cuddle.
But inside joke. Anyway.
Now, we're going to have to elaborate now. Because we were working on a four-wheeler the other day.
Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna clarify this joke, and it fucking cracked us all up. So me, Jan, and our buddy were working on a four-wheeler for my kid. My child is 8. He will be 9 next month, or in July. Are we in June? I don't know where we are. Anyway, pandemic time.
June soon.
June soon. So we're working on this four-wheeler, and we're talking with him, and what brought up the topic again?
I think he was about to scratch your car, and your buddy said, "Oh, you're going to have to drive the car to prom one day."
And he's like, "I don't want to go to prom." We were like, "Why not? Prom's awesome. It's a high school thing. Whatever. You want to live out your life, right?" He's like, "I don't want to go to prom. There's hookers there."
Oh, no.
I died. I said, "Come here, buddy. Come here. First off, I love you." And I hugged him and was dying laughing. And then second off, I was like, "That is not, well, there might be, but that's not really how that works. It's a dance that you go to." Yeah. So later that night, we're at the dinner table, and he brought up something. He's like, "Yeah, I know better than to presume now." And I was like, "Well, good. Kind of like prom, right?" He's like, "Yes, I know that there's not hookers there." My youngest, who is 5 and about to turn 6, goes, "Yeah, but there's strippers there, and they're even worse than hookers." And I'm like, "Oh my God, where are my kids getting this stuff?" I'm just like, well, I found out my babysitter plays a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's kind of where it came from. But it's still funnier than shit, and I don't care.
Yeah. So we're talking about prom. We're talking about hookers.
We're talking about hookers. Okay. Or strippers. They're worse. What were we on? Sweet Jesus. Substance abuse.
Yeah. Yes.
I do get concerned with that from time to time. So obviously everybody goes through dealing with their own issues however they can. I think everybody goes through like a party phase at some point, either in your early years or when you hit 21 or midlife crisis or whatever. But those ones I kind of like, okay, those are just like a phase. Whereas I really, really, really do struggle with the fact that a lot of my music community has such issues with substance abuse. Now, if you smoke pot on occasionally, cool, whatever. If you drink every once in a while, cool, whatever. You like to throw a rager every once in a blue moon, cool, whatever. But I'm talking about the homies that are struggling,
Well, and I think the last year, especially with the pandemic, has brought that to light for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think we've, especially as the pandemic started, we saw that huge spike in alcohol sales around the United States. Mm-hmm. Our community was definitely part of the people purchasing that. And I remember people talking about, it's fine. I'm done with work and I'm going to go home and have a 6-pack. And it's one of those things that we jokingly normalize it as a community, but that shit can be fucking harmful.
Yeah.
And especially normalizing it can be harmful. When you are drinking a 6-pack a night, you probably should talk to someone about that, or at least cut back. I was drinking more than I wanted to, and I just at one point, I had people around me. It's like, okay, let's not. Water's way better, so I'm drinking water instead, and yeah, it is way better. And as a community, that's the other part, though, and I think that does tie into the type of music we play and listen to.
Yeah.
A lot of that is about effectively bottling up your feelings and presenting as a hard ass.
Oh, well, that and trying to just drown away the emotions
absolutely.
you're feeling as well.
It's way easier than dealing with it. Let's be real.
And that's one thing I would like to, just kind of like touch on. If you want to dive into it too, I mean, please feel free to jump in on it. But my biggest thing is, it's like if we are a part of this, little social clique that we are in our scene, I would really hope that we can all reach out to each other. And on earlier episodes as well, we've also put up like the suicide hotline number. We've said several times, hit up any of us. Mm-hmm. We are all about making sure that everybody is okay.
Yeah.
I will gladly take the time out of my day to sit down and have a conversation or meet up and, talk on the phone, whatever works best for you. And just be happy and healthy. But I think that's something that we forget is it's like we're cool to like meet up at the shows. We're cool to party with each other.
Yeah.
But we forget that love needs to go further into like, hey, let's take care of each other.
Yeah, really be there for each other.
And I think one of my biggest worries is that people fall too hard into that substance abuse and then they just don't know how to pull themselves back out. Because the next part of it is we have the most suicide rate in our music genre as well. Whether that be mainstream acts to the fans to the underground to whatever, we deal with the most severe levels of depression that I've noticed, unless you're from the Mickey Mouse Club, and then you really have serious problems. But we won't bring up Britney Spears again.
Oh, okay.
But
wow, we really went there.
Well, it's a real thing.
I know. I ain't arguing.
No,
that.
do you know about that?
Yeah.
Like almost 90% of the kids who come out of the Mickey Mouse Club and Disney and all that stuff like that come out with like serious mental issues.
Well, and if you think about that, like that originates from childhood, and a lot of people that are in the scene that we're in were bullied through school and felt like an outcast in childhood. So it's like, you have to bring from that. I think is where a lot of the pain comes from.
Oh, I agree.
And I do think that a lot of us, and I'm not immune to this myself, have used or are using the music scene as a surrogate for actually dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
Raging out at shows is something that's far easier than fucking picking up the phone and calling a therapist. But you know what? Just if you have the opportunity, if your insurance will cover like the first 10 sessions, just do it. See if it works. Take a shot at it. Because as great as shows are and as wonderful and helpful as live music and the community can be, dealing with problems is important no matter what.
Right. And a few key things to kind of like point that out. If you're always saying it's like, oh, no, man, music is my therapy. Or, oh, man, I go to shows to recharge. Those kind of like lines are kind of telling yourself it's like you're not happy at any other point unless you're doing those shows because you're around like-minded people that are like you. It really is important. And whether it's through insurance and an actual therapist, just talking to somebody. Pick somebody that you're comfortable with. I actually myself prefer to talk to randoms because then I don't feel like, because when I talk to people that I regularly know, I worry that there's like a stigma or like my mother's going to over worry, that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
now, like me and Jan, we have a close enough relationship to where it's just like we know we're not going to bias each other on what we talk about. Like we've talked about some shit that probably most other people would throw us in jail for. But hey, it happens. But it's one of those things where it's just like, but we can talk to each other and openly express our opinion on it. And then it's just like, and then whatever you do with that info from there is yours, bud. But we're always there for each other to listen to each other talk. And I think that that's important. Just don't forget.
When we're saying talking to randoms, all things considered, the person taking your order at the McDonald's drive-thru is not the one. They're just doing.
They better make my order right first, and they better make me fucking happy. Anyway,
but sadly, the milkshake machine's not working.
But it's one of those things where when I say a random, like still somebody that I know, but not somebody who's so intricately tied into my life that I have to worry about them calling my mom or my wife or my kids or whatever. It's just like, hey, you know what? You're cool, and really, if you spread it all, even on Facebook, it wouldn't make any fucking difference to me. So
On that note, though, like if that is something you are concerned about, and I can understand being concerned about that, there's professionals out there, they're trained to listen to you.
No, and I'm just saying, if you don't have the insurance for that, kind of thing, if you can seek professional medical help, it sounds stupid, but it does help. I mean, and
they're there for a reason.
And another thing, too, is just positive reinforcement for yourself.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, reprogramming yourself
to
be nice to yourself.
Exactly, and it's a real thing. What do they call it? God, I can't remember the medical term, but it's pretty much personal reprogramming.
Yeah.
And you wake up every morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and you say 10 great things about yourself every day to yourself in the mirror, telling yourself that you can do this, you can move forward, you will succeed.
Yeah, you can actually regrow synaptic pathways by telling yourself nice things every day. And looking at yourself and going, yeah, I'm hot, and then your brain's like, you're hot.
No,
and honestly, the other thing too is when you say negative things about yourself repeatedly, challenge yourself to say positive things about yourself for a week.
Yeah.
Just challenge yourself to do it.
For some people, it's hard enough to do for even just a day.
I know.
I'd give you props for that.
And when you start realizing how often you say negative things about yourself, and you start trying to stop yourself from doing that, it makes a difference. It absolutely does.
It really does.
What I like to do is, if I'm being like extra hard on myself, it's like, would I say that to 7-year-old me?
That is a good way of looking at it.
I mean, I'm kind of a dick. I probably would.
I like to think of it since...
Only works if you're nice to children, I guess. But
Right. But no, the way I like to look at it is, it's like, would I ever want to hear my son saying that?
Yeah, definitely.
Would I ever want to hear my wife saying that? No, I want them to be the best that they can be, and I'm going to support them, and I'm going to give them truth. But another thing is, too, is it's just like you have to know when you're being truthful to yourself or you're just lying to yourself, too.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, if, say, I don't know, I'm going to give a horrible example, I'm sure. But, like, say, like, it's like, even if it's something where it's like, okay, and I mean no offense to this by anybody, but like you really genuinely are not attractive. Let's just be real. Like I'm a realist. I don't call myself attractive because I don't see it that way. But I do have a damn good work ethic.
Yeah.
I believe in doing the right thing. I want to do right by my kids, and I want them to be the best that they can be. Work hard, achieve, do nice things. And that's another thing, too. Try doing nice things, just little things like holding the door for people.
Oh, for sure.
That pay ahead where you're in the drive-thru, and it's like, I'll buy the next person's meal.
Yeah.
Treat yourself every once in a while, too.
Yeah, and that's another thing people forget, too, is they get so swamped in their bills and their debt, and they bury themselves in their stress alone that they forget that it's like, you have to treat yourself. Every paycheck, I have $50 set aside from my paycheck that I can, this is mine. Doing whatever the fuck I want with it, whether it be buy new CDs or buy merch from a band or whatever. And if you can't afford that much, just do something for yourself, even if it's $20, if it's a coffee every day, whatever.
Even if it's just like cooking yourself a nice dinner.
Yeah.
I mean,
something nice.
Varieties out there, whatever works best for the person. So, but I do like that, like mental reprogramming.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's one of the things that it took me a long time to get out of my depression, and I thought it was the stupidest thing I'd ever fucking heard.
God, yeah, it feels so...
It feels stupid.
So stupid to try
when
to
you do it the
yourself.
first 2 days, 3 days, you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm fucking cool. Yeah. Not even looking at myself in the mirror. It's like, yeah, I'm so ripped. But then I started realizing that it's like...
these pants.
Yeah, no shit. But it's like, it becomes one of those things where you start realizing it's not about lying to yourself, because I'm not ripped. I'm not a muscular, like, I pump iron all day. I'm juiced. It's one of those things where I can sit there and I can be like, no, but I have the right head on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Bro, people are literally paying money to see you perform in your fucking Speedo.
I mean, they don't know about it, though, until they've seen it for the first time, though. They just think they're going to a metal show.
Yeah, you get return customers.
They do become return customers. There is no doubt about this. Captain Deadbutt for life. But yeah, no, it really does seem stupid, but try. I mean, if you can get through doing it for at least a week, I guarantee you by the time you get to the end of that week, it's going to seem less stupid.
Yeah.
And if you can continue doing it, I believe mental programming takes at least a month. It's about 21 to 28 days.
It's between 3 and 6 weeks to develop a habit.
Right.
So, and you want to make it a habit.
Yeah.
If you don't make it a habit, you're not reprogramming shit.
Yeah.
Right. But just don't be discouraged by it because it seems dumb. It really does help.
Well, and like everyone that is doing it to try to better themselves feels stupid doing it. So it's like, don't worry about it.
You're not alone. We just admitted it.
And on top of all that, I mean, depression isn't something that is over quickly.
Oh, no.
And you might want it to be over quickly. But if you look back and you're like, man, for the last fucking 8 months, I've been an absolute wreck. What's 6 weeks of doing something you find dumb?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that if you're feeling unhappy and you're falling asleep feeling like shit every night, that feels pretty dumb too.
Yeah.
So why not try something else that might sound dumb, but hey, you know what? If on the off chance that it works, let's go.
Yeah.
I agree. Another thing in the mental health of the music scene that I'd kind of like to touch on too is that another way to try to help make yourself feel more positive, don't be afraid to like jump in and help out at like charities or do something that you normally wouldn't do. I know that I do like a lot of like fundraisers and stuff like that. I actually donate clothes down to the shelters on at least a once a year basis. My grandma's really tied into the food banks and stuff like that. That's what it's called, a food bank. Because we were talking about soup kitchens and I was trying to figure out the term for it. Thank you. Thanks me. Anyway.
I said food. Oh, for fuck.
Did you? No, you said soup kitchen. You said that overseas at the soup kitchen.
No, it's the same. Yeah, it's...
I don't care. Anyway, I failed. I'm sorry.
Anal seepage.
I'll never be as good as your Netherland ways. Anal seepage.
There we go.
There we go. You can't just say it and expect me to say it. You have to poke me and say anal seepage.
I kind of want Summer to do it, but I'm worried she'll hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
You get one free shot. Go ahead. Anal seepage.
Did it hurt?
No.
Okay.
But you weren't going for like so.
Just trying to be gentle.
But doing stuff like that, even something as little as like getting involved with like the GoFundMe things where it's like someone in need in the area is got a child that needs like a heart transplant or something like that, help spread the word about it, just do something that can help bring people together. And when you start doing more stuff like that, it really does help. That's actually one of my go-tos for like whenever I'm feeling down, I go online and I look for like, okay, what's going on in my community where people are hurting and need help? And that's what I try to like focus on for like a week. Yeah. Like I'll share it a ton and I'll go down if there's like an actual like, what do they call those things where people bid on different items?
Auction?
Close, but the ones where it's you bid on it and you're raising money for a person or a thing.
I don't know.
Silent auction?
Oh, yeah, it's still an auction.
I think that's just...
Well, I get that, but an auction is just like, hey, you're going to get a...
Not necessarily. That's okay.
Okay. I think it's a silent auction because you just write your name down.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, just getting involved with your community, charity, fun stuff. All right, somebody else.
One of the things I will say, and this is something that I found, when I was struggling personally, I would try and find other things to do. But for me, it was a way to not deal with my own feelings. And I should have been dealing with my own feelings, as my therapist happily told me. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're constantly trying to help others to make yourself happy, you're doing it wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's great to make others happy. It's good to help others, but it's not the only thing.
And I don't mean it that way. It's kind of one of those things to just
I'm not saying you mean it that way. I'm saying somebody might take it that way.
Right, and you stating it, though, I want to make that clear, though, is it's just you're trying to do something that boosts your positivity energy is really what you're going for. At the end of the day, you need to fix yourself. You are no good to anybody if you are not good to yourself.
Yeah.
You can help 50 million people, but if inside you're struggling and you're cutting your wrist when you go home because you can't cope anymore, what good are you going to do? Yeah, those 50 people might have gotten the small little amount of help they needed, but you never solved the actual problem in yourself.
And I've lost too many good people, especially the last year and a half. I want people to start taking care of themselves.
The pandemic threw people into such a weird spot.
I think a lot of us had these coping mechanisms. A lot of them we kind of touched on. And when suddenly those were gone,
and you were stuck in a room by yourself.
Stuck in a room by yourself, or worse, with a bottle or with a needle, and just spiral out of control without any form of social safety net, without any form of coping mechanism. That's really scary. And I think that's why we kept mentioning it on our podcast. Like, fuck, dude, like, reach out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you ruin my day. It's just a day, you know. It's your life. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and something I'd like to add is when you're trying to be better to yourself, that you don't have to be perfect when you start. Like, just trying to be better for yourself is what's important. You don't have to, like, suddenly, I'm perfectly fine, because it doesn't work that way. So I think that's important.
Sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's months, sometimes it's years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a constant struggle that never goes away.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's when you end up buying cat ears. Like, it's what it is.
I don't know. I, for one, like to glue on these like fingernails that have like flames on them.
Do you use like super glue?
Elmer's, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Actually, it's Loctite. I don't recommend that. Nobody else do that, but I have a lot of dogs, and you gotta walk them.
We're back to the part. You don't have to be perfect.
Oh, I love it.
We got ourselves into a sticky situation there.
I'm just gonna blame my guitarist for that. I asked for super glue to put a nail back on. It gave me Loctite. It was the best thing ever.
Which guitarist is this?
Tanner.
Tanner.
Dragging him under the bus.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Threw him
I
right
think he's just
under.
ingenuitive, but it's fine.
I think you used too big of a word with Tanner in the same sentence.
He's going to be watching this, like...
And he's going to be like, those motherfuckers, but they're right. What the hell?
Hey, I didn't say anything mean. I'm blaming you.
That's fine. Just use the big words that confuse the guy. Oh, no. And ingenuitive. It confused me too. It's okay. Anal seepage. But anyway, so I would like to try to kind of like base back a little bit though. Is that we've kind of talked on the like the depressing aspect of it a little bit. And we've kind of talked about like the, hey, if you need help. Real quick, a few things that I will always suggest to people. One, if you can get to a therapist, talk to a therapist. If not, try talking to somebody about your problems and then seeing. Another reason why I like the outsider opinion is because it's third-party perspective. They aren't tied to it, and I like that they can just kind of see it from just that view.
And worst case scenario, if you have no person to talk to, if you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you have a favorite plant, get it out of your system. Get that catharsis. Anything.
Yeah, because once you start talking about it, it's so much easier to process it.
Don't just mumble to yourself in the shower.
Well, you can also write it down in journals too. I found writing it out also helps me a lot as well.
Put it in lyrics.
Lyrics, poetry, just writing it as a diary, whatever. It's actually something my therapist used to tell me too.
Oh, for sure.
If you can't tell anybody, write it out. It will help. The other thing is your diet. Think about what you're eating. If you are drinking a shit ton of soda, energy drinks, eating crap food all fucking day, that shit does mess with your chemical balance. I'm not saying you got to go be like some fitness junkie and eat broccoli and cauliflower all day, but at the same time, try to see if you can round that diet a little bit better. Because I know that when I was super depressed, I was finding myself eating at Taco Bell, McDonald's, just shit crap food. It's like, it's just something in my gut, whatever. I don't care.
What did you have for lunch today?
I had Burger King.
Okay.
But that's because my son wanted it, you asshole. But the fact of the matter is, though, is that even though I had that Burger King, I had a nice home cooked breakfast this morning. You know, I'm gonna have a barbecue this afternoon. Doesn't mean that all of those foods are perfect. I mean, shit, it's a lot of meat for me, but it's still better than the processed junk grease food.
And on that note, too, exercise, get your body moving.
Yep.
Massively important for your mental health as well as your physical health.
Especially with the chemical balances that it pushes through your body as well. So, you were going to say something?
I left my brain.
It
the
left your
ADHD
brain?
said goodbye, so it's over there now.
Fair enough.
Can you just go pick it up or something?
I don't know. Did you catch it?
She's got a fishing pole. Hang on just a second. It's back, right?
You're going to need me to edit that, aren't you?
Huh?
You're going to need me to try and edit that, aren't you? Okay. Oh, wow, you reached prom. You're a hooker.
Hook, line, and sinker. Maybe I'll sink you.
Why am I number 5?
Anyway.
Not again.
But yes, exercise is also the third point that I was going to get at. And really, that's the main 3. Like, if you get your mental status, your your physical status and what you're putting into your body under control, that really helps a lot. It will not solve like you're dealing with stress of like your bills are going to get better, but you will find that your serotonin levels will raise. You will find that your body is going to try to respond in a good positive light. And when you get those different chemicals going through your body, they will help. They will make the days easier, but it takes time. You need to make a habit out of it. Not saying you got to work out every day. Not saying you got to eat healthy every day. Not saying you need a therapist every day. But just try. That's it.
And it also helps if you have somebody around you that will do those things with you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so bad about
Support networks are great.
being good to myself when no one is there to do it with me. Because I'm like, well, why am I going to go on this walk by myself?
That is actually my number one downfall, is that I don't do things by myself.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I can never motivate myself to do it. Like, I own weight sets. I own all that stuff. I will not work out by myself.
Yeah.
I can't. I would rather, even if my 5-year-old will come down and pretend like he's lifting weights with me, I'm more motivated to do it.
Definitely.
He would lift weights.
Oh, yeah, I know. My 5-year-old's a scrapper. He's gonna be like, he's gonna be my.
He's gonna
child.
be in every mosh pit.
He's gonna be in every fucking form of martial arts and fighting techniques too. But
Mosh pits are a martial art.
yes, the networking game is really important. If you can find anybody else who's struggling too, maybe try helping each other.
Yeah.
You know, two low people can help make a solid person.
Now,
you just need that networking.
With all that said, though, I do want to point out, none of us are mental health professionals.
Oh, yeah, definitely
Some
not.
of you might have issues that go well beyond the scope of what we might be able to help you fix. And that is where, again, professional help. It's consider it the same, and this I know there's a massive stigma on it, especially in this country. But you know what? If I stub my toe and after 2 weeks it's still red and bleeding, I'm gonna go see a doctor about my toe. But people walk around with depression for years without seeing anyone. It's the same as seeing a doctor for something physical. It's just, it's in your brain. It's not a finger that's dangling off.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
the chemicals
less,
in your brain are physical things. So
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
gotta
less
treat it like
visible,
that.
and it has a stigma. But, there's people who
Need medication.
yeah.
there's people who need medication. There's people who are uniquely qualified to help you in your situation. And, if you have a broken arm and you're going to fix it by, I don't know, wrapping it with duct tape, there's a chance you'll be able to fix it. But getting a cast is probably going to do it way better.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm going to, is like, as much as I love for us to be able to fix all of our own problems, not everyone can. And that's not because they're incapable. It's simply because they haven't been handed the tools.
No, I would see that as you are incapable and you need the tools
Well, yeah.
to make you capable of doing it.
Potato, French
But
fries.
Anyway, yeah, fries of the French. I like them curly, but that's just me. But
Are
anyway,
we talking about French fries?
the fries of curl.
Okay.
But the point is that
Not
there
freedom
is a
fries?
level where it is need medication, and no matter what you do, it's not going to get better. And that is something that is just a chemical imbalance in your body that you have to get taken care of. And I agree. If you've been struggling with this for years and you've tried different methods of trying to pull yourself out of it, go see somebody about it. And probably if you're seeing a good therapist, they might even be advising you to I think you might need to go see a doctor for this one and have your chemical balances checked. But I feel like we've been too depressed for too long. I want to get back into a positive light.
One of the
Yes.
things I definitely want to highlight is that I think the music scene can be a massive plus for a lot
Yeah.
of people. And it's been one for me. Not just the music itself, not just the shows, but the people I've met through it.
Yes.
And I think that sense of community, again, going back all the way to the beginning, that sense of belonging, having those people around you is a massive, massive plus. And fuck, man, I've met some of the most amazing, some of the dearest people in my life I've met at shows. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And without the music scene, I wouldn't have met those people.
Exactly.
Similarly, when it comes to making music, I mean, I'm not in a band, but I'll scream into a microphone and fuck if it ain't cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have anything positive light you'd like to bring up?
I would like to go along with what you said, and meeting people of like mind that you can form a community with can be that person you go like metal jogging with or whatever.
Yeah.
Just building a support network is really important, and really it's made easier by having a music scene.
Yeah. And you know what? If you can both work out while listening to A Day to Remember, hey, fuck, that's great.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, me and Jan met through the music scene.
Yep.
You and I met through the music scene. I mean, there's so many people that I have met over the years that I've either been a musician or the years that I've been doing as a promoter. And it's just one of those things, like, I've met people who it's like, what do you do on your spare time? Well, I make ice sculptures with chainsaws. Are you fucking kidding me? And they're just like, no, I'm dead serious. This is what I do in my off time. I was like, I want to see. And they'll show me these images. Like, dude, that's fucking amazing. Like, what the fuck? And I never thought you play guitar for a band. I would have never thought that it's like, and I return it with, you know. I've met some guys, I was just wearing their shirt the other day, and I can't remember the name of the band.
Can you describe the shirt?
The, like, Dungeons and Dragons meets metal.
Oh yeah, Blood and Thunder.
Blood and Thunder. Isn't the lead singer of Blood and Thunder like work on aerotech shit?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty positive he works on airplanes and stuff like that.
That's their drummer too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Ryan?
I might be mixing the person, but
I'm pretty sure his name's Ryan.
I'm not going to guess. Too many people. I apologize. Off the top of my head, it's hard to remember names.
If it sounds really weird, that means I messed it up, and his name is not that. And I dubbed it over in post.
No, there's a running joke with that too. So
yeah, we've done this
many times.
That's awesome.
Many times, especially with Jigglypuff. You'll have to watch the old episodes to understand. Anyway, but no, I mean, it's really cool that we get to meet these people, and it's like they all come from so many different facets and walks of life. I mean, sure, there's always the guys that are like, oh, I flip burgers for a living, and then there's always the people that are like, man, I just built a new fucking airplane and did the fucking schematics for it and all this stuff. You know, it's like, that's cool. But I mean, even those of the people who aren't in like musicians, but like art, you know, like one of the things that I absolutely love, and where is it?
I don't know. What are we looking for?
Where is it?
Are we looking for
I'm looking for the happy drawing that she made me.
Oh, the bears?
Yes, the bears. Where's my bears? I think it's over there.
I think it's behind one of my 7 monitors.
It might be.
Yes.
This is possibly true. But the fact of the matter is, though,
if I find it, I'll like put it here.
Okay.
If I don't find it, then I won't.
I probably have a picture of it.
No, I have it here somewhere. I just need to go like, oh, there it is. I just don't want to yank my headset away with it.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, it's like Summer drew me this awesome picture of me as just myself, and then there was one of me as Captain Dad Bod, and then there was one of me as just screaming into a microphone as a musician. And it was the greatest thing, because I was like, oh my God, I absolutely love this. This is fantastic. And it brightened. You have no idea how happy I was about that thing. I came home and I was like, look, honey, look, showing my wife, and she's like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I was like, I love it. It's fucking amazing. And for like 3 days, I just had it there, and I was like, that thing's so cool. I love this. And it's great to know that like even something as simple as that, like, cheered me up for like 3 days straight. You know, like I was like, this is so cool. It was my background on my phone for a while, and I was just like, this is dope.
And I do think too that when we're talking about not just with art but with other stuff, we went to see Mortal Kombat with people we go to shows with.
Yeah,
and fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool. Just gathering up. It's like, hey, it's not a show, guys, but we can go to the movie theater because we can rent out this entire theater to just us for like $200.
That's awesome.
So it was like, cool, let's get a posse together. I think there was like 17?
There was
15. Somewhere right in there.
There was the appropriate amount of socially distanced people there. Please don't look into it any further. Thank you.
It's a theater that can seat over like 200 people, dude.
I don't fucking know.
17 people. I would imagine
I'm just
people.
Gonna throw shade.
I don't care.
Throw shade.
Shade throw.
Throw shade.
Falcon punch. Anyway, but the fact of the matter is, though, it's like we just got together. I mean, we didn't do anything crazy. We didn't do anything that was like, let's go build a bridge. You know, it was just, let's go watch Mortal Kombat and be fucking idiots together. You know, it's an open invitation. Go. You know, and Kyler, homie, I love you, boo boo. He was the one that helped it.
Oh, that's cool. That makes sense.
It's Mortal
It was
Kombat.
Mortal
Of course
Kombat.
it was fucking Kyler.
Well, no, Jurassic Park is the obvious, but ever since
How
the
many
pandemic,
Jurassic Park movies have come out in the last year?
okay. But the point of the matter is that, well, actually, if you're talking about the Netflix series,
No, I'm not talking about the Netflix series.
I didn't know there was a Netflix series.
Yeah,
What
there's
I'm
a
doing after this.
Camp Cretaceous or Cretaceous. I can't.
Probably Cretaceous.
I think it's Cretaceous.
probably
I was
Cretaceous. Yeah.
flubbling. But no, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty decent. It's about these kids that get trapped in the Jurassic Park areas. And
If
then
you're
they have to
really
find
into
their way
3D
out.
animation,
That's awesome.
don't watch it.
Shut up! It's actually really well done. It's
The
actually really well
The water's really good, but that's about it.
Shut up,
I will give it shit. I don't give a fuck.
dude. It's good, and it's good for happy dinosaur love. So shut your face.
Jurassic Park's not about happy dinosaur love.
That's
It
the
is
only
now.
reason
It's about
I watched
massive
Jurassic
dinosaur
Park.
horror. Let's go. I kind of wanted to yell meow and then look at her ears. I'm like, I can't fucking do it.
I could turn the light on for you.
Oh, yes, we should.
See if I can.
Oh, they blinky blinks. Oh. Yes. Anyway,
I'm slapping a lens flare on
I'm
those
gonna
puppies.
get back on top. I'm gonna get back on topic now. But yeah, I mean, throw out a fucking post that on Facebook or social media or whatever, and just be like, hey, if anybody wants to get together and go do frisbee golf or go see Mortal Kombat and shit, it's dope.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'll usually find that like somebody will come. I mean, it's not usually just a complete flop unless you do it last minute, and then it's always going to flop. But yeah, I mean, just try to be cool about it. Hit up with the people. You don't have to just hang out just at shows. I mean, there's
Yeah.
more to a world out there. We just do it usually at shows. So broaden your horizons.
So free Saturdays.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So another thing too is that I would like to
You would like to ew?
I would like to ew.
I would like to ew too,
would
but
like
don't
to-
do it on this fucking podcast.
I would like to ooh woo. Oh yeah.
This is why I have a therapist.
Ooh woo.
That's pointy.
Ooh woo. Oh yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so we're obviously I'm starting to slim down on this topic a little bit. So, is there anything that you guys would like to bring up before moving on?
No, just the casual reminder to love each other. Never feel afraid to reach out.
Yeah, definitely.
And fuck, actually, there is one thing that I wanted to touch on, and it's very brief.
You want to touch my briefs?
Not again. But as a general,
Wearing them today. I love you. Continue.
as a general kind of PSA, one of the things, I mean, I stopped drinking early this year, completely. And one of the things that we do as a middle community is, if you were looking to meet someone outside of shows, 9 out of 10 times people will be like, oh yeah, let's grab a drink together. If somebody's no longer drinking, and that's the only way you want to meet them, it gets awkward really quickly. Just, give someone the chance to say no to that and maybe an opportunity to do something else. It's nothing personal, I promise.
Yeah. No, I think there's a really big meme that's been going around a lot lately too. That's or not a meme, but
Post?
Just a post about hey, you don't need to shame people or question them. Why do you not drink? Why? What? Why? It's not weird. People just choose to stop drinking. And again, I've stated it before and I'll state it again. You were drinking a lot.
Oh, I was.
And the fact that you've decided to yourself sober up, and you haven't touched drinks since February, have you?
Yeah, in January.
Yeah. End of January, beginning of February.
Yeah.
So it's February, March, April, May. We're just about to hit June. Almost 5 months. Yeah. That's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah. And I'm not kidding when I say it. I mean, fucking proud of you. Is ooh woo to the max, bro. Seriously,
It's a brew woo.
Brew woo.
Yeah, because it's brews. I don't
But I really want to commend you on that. I really do. And it's one of those things. If you're trying to better yourself. You don't have to feel pressured because of your friends. And maybe you have to say something like what he just said. You know, it's like, hey guys, just so you know, I've kind of just given up drinking, and that's okay. And then see how they respond. If they're like, oh, well, fuck you, dude, then they weren't really your friends. So fuck them. But do what's best for you, because at the end of the day, that's who's most important on your list is taking care of yourself.
Definitely.
And not in a selfish way, but just for your own sake way.
It's not selfish to take care of your health.
No, never. It's not selfish to take care of yourself in general, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's all I got.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else you want to touch on this topic before we move forward?
No, I think that's all I have to say.
There's actually one thing I should touch.
Anal seepage.
There we go.
Okay. You don't have anything else you want to throw into the topic of mental health in the
I'm
music
good.
scene? You're
Sorry,
good?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good. Yeah, you got to make sure that you stay close to that mic. You don't want to be afraid of it.
Keep drifting away.
It's your friend. I promise. Okay, so with that being said, I would like to move forward, and I would like to give you, Summer, an opportunity to just tell us about Third Park Avenue, because we kind of gave a short introductory. I would like to, couple little basis ones. I would like to know what kind of genre you are, how long you've been together, and do you have any big plans coming around?
Who's the worst vocalist in the band?
Me.
And why is it Chris?
Just so everybody knows, Chris is sitting just off screen. Come say hi, Chris. Come say hi real quick. You can come say hi real quick.
Hello.
Just lean your head
just block all of our light. Why don't you?
All the light disappeared. But he's hanging out as well, and you are the bass player for Third Park Avenue, so just so everybody knows that Chris is also a member of the band. But go ahead and give us the rundown of just Third Park Avenue. We want everybody to have a chance to get to know you guys.
Yeah, so Third Park Avenue, I don't know what to call this, like hard rock. It's not super metal, but
I'd say
I'll throw it in
We're
like the gothic
ambiguous.
rock kind of,
Yeah.
gothic rock, gothic alternative.
Melodic rock, something along that. I don't
it's
know.
something.
I'd say, I know that when I first met you, I really got like, I remember the very first time I saw you perform, and that was at Ray's Golden Lion, and I was just like, you really have that Amy Lee thing going on. And you're like, oh my God, that's my idol. Like, I really am happy to hear that, because that's like who I want to try to aspire to be. And I was just like, that's so cool.
Yeah. I remember the first time I heard them, and it kind of gave me like early Within Temptation vibes, and I'm like, I like this. I like this a lot. I like that old hard rock sound to it. Back when Robert still sang in that band. I miss Robert.
But that's kind of like the category I threw you in, is to kind of like Evanescence, maybe a little bit of like the more mellow Nightwish stuff.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the moody female-fronted bands is probably the genre we're in.
Is that really a genre?
I
mean, it is
I'm
gothic
making
metal.
guesses. I don't know.
But yeah, if, I would say fans of Evanescence, Paramore. Well, maybe not Paramore.
Probably Flyleaf more.
Flyleaf.
Yeah.
And probably more along those lines, because I know Chris likes to do backup screams and stuff like that as well. So you guys have that little bit more of a hard edge as opposed to like a poppy.
It's a little more, I think, After Forever Epica than it is Evanescence.
Well, and like the longer we play together, the heavier it gets. So
which is actually been really cool to watch you guys
Yeah.
evolve from that to where you're. I've last seen you perform live. Is it's just like, man, I still remember back when they
We're
were
little
earlier.
One of the things I actually wanted to kind of bring up real quick, and I'm sorry, I'm completely interrupting your pitch here for
you're
Third Park
good.
Avenue, but
I mean, we're
one
kind of pitching for them.
yeah,
at
we
this
kind of
point.
are, aren't we? We're shilling. Fuck, are we shilling?
I don't know.
Damn it. Already?
We'll take our $10 after the episode.
Yeah, that's right.
20.
There's two of us.
But no, I think one of the things is, I think as Third Park Avenue, because you guys have been playing together for how long now?
The better part of a decade, like almost
Right.
9 years.
Yeah, and I think, you guys have grown a lot as musicians, as individual musicians especially, and I think I've seen you guys play the same songs with different interpretations live. Chris's vocals getting a lot better over the years. Your vocals getting better over the years. You're lashing out higher. You're holding notes longer. I know Tanner's solos have gotten far more intricate on the same songs, and I don't even think he plays the album versions anymore.
I think that's probably fair
not.
to say.
I mean, it's been like 6 years since we put all that stuff out. So,
But I love seeing you guys perform live and just like seeing the growth of musicianship in there and showmanship as well. Because Chris now actually moves around on stage. It's amazing.
well, Chris spins and does all kinds of crazy stuff now.
Chris is a wild animal. He never holds back. He's just like, fuck this body.
Well, actually, after the first time I saw Chris live, I'm like, oh, it's a bass player who moves around. I like you.
What was the acoustic rendition that I had booked you guys for? That was with
What was the name of the
man, I'm
idol
so
It was the
singer?
American Idol guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a picture with him. I don't remember what his name is.
I have like
will forget
a
my own
few
name, so-
pictures of him.
But I just
The guy
remember,
who sang Hallelujah. Come on.
anyway,
I'm gonna find
while
him.
he searches this because I don't have my phone. It was one of those things that was the first time I'd seen you guys play acoustically.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, this is really good. Because I knew you had a great voice for it. And I knew you could do it.
Lee DeWise.
DeWise.
Yes.
Yep. Lee DeWise. As soon as you said Lee, it was like, click.
Yep.
But when you guys when I booked you guys on that, I was just like, man, because you were like, yeah, we can do an acoustic set and all this stuff. I was like, cool. And then I was watching, I was like, man, this is really cool that you guys can like diversify it enough. Because you can't just play the same thing.
yeah.
You can't just sing the same way.
Yes, I think we played Outcast in the acoustic version, and that's like one of our heaviest songs.
Right.
And we're like, we'll figure it out.
But it's one of those things where it's just, you have to retrain your brain because it's still there, but you're doing it in a completely different way. And I love that kind of stuff. So, I mean, just like what he was saying, watching you guys from where you guys were at when we first saw you guys perform to now, it's just like, you guys have really come a long way, and it's
Which
really impressive.
does
Yeah.
lead to the next question. What's next for Third Park Avenue?
We have so much music, like an entire album of music that we just have to get in the studio and get out. We've got a song and already recorded, so got some cool stuff coming.
Oh my God!
We're really excited.
Crab people. I'm hoping he'll give me lobster hands while I'm doing this.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Well, no, in post, he can give
Oh,
me like
got it.
lobster hands.
I think I might just add something really stupid there. I have to think of what it's going to be.
I
But
hope it's sock puppets of Hulk Hogan. Yeah, brother! I don't know.
I'm going to drown out poor Summer. brother.
No, don't do that, because she did state a lot of important news is coming.
Big things coming soon?
Yeah, so we
Big
have
things coming soon.
at least an album worth of new music, and
Nice.
I like it a lot more than our other stuff. It's different, but it still feels like us. So I'm really excited.
Out of curiosity, because we kind of talked about the mindset in which you guys wrote basically your first album.
Yeah.
What's the mindset going into the next album?
So personally,
Just sing it all for us right now.
lyric-wise, you know, when I was younger, I was like, I would touch on like feelings and like try to be completely uplifting all the time. And I was like, you know, this album, I'm just going to talk about all the things that make me grind my teeth at night. Like everything that's hard for me, I'm going to talk about it. And so that's what all of my lyrics have been about. And then we have a couple songs that are just like more upbeat and more about just living life and
Red
Okay.
Solo Cup.
yes, exactly.
With your feelings.
Just
Instead of
coming back
cat
to the
ears, I
joke
have
side.
solo cups on my head. It's great.
Yes.
You know he's coming to Pendleton.
No, I'm just thinking of the post I'm doing with this.
Toby
All
Keith,
the editing.
he's coming to the Pendleton Rodeo Roundup.
Yeah, I know. I'm staying the fuck away.
I'm going to be there with solo cups. I'm going to be like the solo cup monster.
That's awesome.
They're not even gonna let you in, bro.
You could cut little like solo cup fringe, make a fringe jacket.
Fuck yeah.
You can make red solo cup pasties.
I'm gonna
Yes.
fucking have the Madonna cones with red solo cups. It's gonna be the shit. Yeah, there's that sigh of happiness. But no, that's exciting. So, have you already started the recording process?
Yes,
you have.
we have.
Is there a studio that you guys are going through?
We've been going through Rainmaker.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that's the local one in Pasco.
Yes.
Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, we have a studio down here named Rainmaker Studios in Pasco, Washington. I know you guys use them. I know Sui Generis has used them. I know there's a few other artists in town as well.
Yeah, I see pictures where people have the inside of the studio, and I'm like, I know what that is.
I know what that is. I touched that stuff.
I would just say, like, if you see this on YouTube or Facebook, just look and we'll post something about them.
Oh,
You can check out Rainmaker Studio.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Throw them a shout out. Why not?
I'll throw them a shout out.
We'll rep them for a little bit here.
Okay, cool. I don't really have much to rep about Rainmaker
I
Studios.
know.
I've never used them.
I know.
So
That's fair.
he's not really big into my level of metal.
I was
He's-
trying to like give you the segue.
No, not yet. But no, Rainmaker Studios is really good, but they don't do like the heavy side of things. They do more of the alternative,
Yeah.
heavy rock style. They're not really into the like.
Yeah.
You mean just me in the car?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, that's why. Never mind. Anyway, But past that, do you guys think you have an idea of when that album's going to drop? Are you thinking this year? Are you thinking 22?
I personally hope for 21, but,
Obviously, we
it's
don't
hard
know
to get
for sure.
there.
We can
and
see
got
Chris.
COVID going on, so.
We can see Chris off camera. I'm guessing 22.
You think so? He's not as optimistic as I am.
He's not as optimistic.
You should write a song about that.
Are you guys? So one of the things that I will say is right here we have the Third Park Avenue As We Grow album art right there.
Yes.
So are you guys thinking of doing anything different for your art this round? Are you guys thinking of like doing like drawings, paintings, anything of that style, graphic design? Or are you thinking of going with just the photo shoot idea again?
So I've been doing a lot of digital art, so I'm hoping to be able to draw our album art this time. So I've been working on stuff. So
What have you been doing for digital art? What programs?
I use Procreate, so I have an iPad and Apple Pencil.
Nice.
Yeah. I think my phone background
I'm
is some
familiar.
art that I made.
I thought he was like smirking and like doing like. Behind
Oh.
Sorry. That's why I,
I would
looked at
never. But why
Never.
would I do that when I have video editing tools to do that
it.
with?
You actually do have that.
Gonna mock you in post.
So that's cool.
Exactly.
So you're actually going to be doing the art for your album this
Yeah,
time.
that's
Hopefully, that's the goal anyway.
Yes.
Yes.
If everybody hates what I draw, then but
Well, then you tell them to suck it, and you do it anyway. I am the lead singer. I'll do whatever I want. Damn it! I'm
No,
a
I
lead
think it'd be
singer
cool
too.
to
I know
drum
exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, just messing. But
I
no,
wanna
that's
see
exciting.
I want to see this new Stress Fed album cover now.
Oh, if I had my way, the things people would see. I'd probably not be allowed back in Walmart again.
We're not doing that photo shoot. We've been over this.
Oh, we're doing it at
No,
some point.
no.
So for years, I've been asking Jan, how come you won't take a pic of this dick? And he just refuses, and I don't know why.
It's mostly because
He would literally post up
it's
pictures.
the American flag tattoo. Okay, that's the problem.
He would literally post pictures of other models at a photo shoot that he would do. And I'd be like, that's a beautiful pic. When are you going to take a pic of this dick? And he'd just be like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
just put the sad face reaction to the comment.
Ooh woo.
Okay, so is there anything else you would like to talk about with Third Park Avenue?
I think the rest of it's kind of secret. So
Super
Yeah.
secret. Like
I think I might get in
super
trouble.
secret Agent Squirrel? Is it a super secret Agent Squirrel?
we already have a squirrel in the band. He does the drums. We love Shane. He's very fast.
Do you guys give him coffee before you go on stage?
No, he drinks energy drinks.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, hold on. Do you call him a squirrel because he eats a lot of nuts?
No,
No, because he's
he's super fast.
super fast.
Is it his fluffy tail?
I don't know. I have not seen his tail.
Well, we've seen your cat ears. We just had to present
Yeah, I was
at this point. So, okay. So, anything else you want to cover before we walk away from Third Park talk?
No, I think I'm good.
Actually, no. I've got one. What does Third Park Avenue stand for?
It's a fictional street name that Tanner made up because he liked it.
Wait,
That's it?
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys thought Lincoln Park was cool and then looked for...
It's,
Is
just,
that what happened?
it's Tanner's brainchild. We just liked it.
Okay, hold up.
We need explanations, Tanner.
Hold up. Can you grab a phone and call him real quick? Oh, you know the reason? Okay.
He
Go
tell
ahead.
you secrets
Go
that
ahead
you
and give him the
tell me?
mic real quick.
So Tanner made the band name Third Park Avenue, and he Googled to see if the road actually existed anywhere in the world, right? It's the only road name that he could find that didn't exist. So naturally, it had to be a band name at some point. So he threw it in a hat with all the other names, and it's the one that won. So we're the only Third Park Avenue.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a Third Avenue and a Park Avenue, but there's no Third Park Avenue
Yet.
I would have.
yet until this goes on the internet.
You know, that actually surprises me. I would have thought there would have been at least one.
Right.
I mean, we researched it, couldn't find one.
Okay, so why the street name then? What was the pick for that?
We were punkier then too, which makes sense.
Just rebellion.
I think so.
Third Park Avenue. It's fucking rebellion, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fuck the system.
make up a street.
Make up a street. I'm gonna rebel against the government and conformists. Third Park Avenue. Yes. I don't know. I don't know. That's it. That's the story.
Yeah, we're not very cool.
You weren't like raised on 3rd Street, and you weren't on like Park Hood, and he wasn't in like the Ghettos Avenue. And
Nah, but my childhood street's his middle name, which is funny.
What?
Yeah, my childhood street's name is Charles. It's his middle name.
Oh, I thought you grew up on Danger Street.
Danger.
Highway to the danger zone.
Wait, it could have been like maybe his middle name was, it's Chris Sesame Scott. I don't.
Sesame.
Danger Will Robinson. Okay. Well, anyway, so you're good for Third Park Avenue talking.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. We're moving forward.
I'll tell the internet other things later.
Oh, man. So where can they find Third Park Avenue?
So we're on Facebook at Third Park Avenue, or else on Instagram at Third Park Avenue, and we put music out on things. But right now there's nothing on iTunes. There used to be.
Well, why not? Licensing problems?
No. We just had to do a thing.
It's a secret,
Yeah.
Blaine.
Super secret squirrel. I'm sorry. Fine. Everybody's just going to yell at me anyway. I don't care.
Not yelling.
It's always yelling. Anyway,
But it's
so
fun to yell at you.
I know. Are we going to try to do some like kooky segue or steal
No.
it from me this time? You're not going to steal it from me this time? Well, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time of the show for Who You Reppin'. The point where we get to show off all the crazy duds and studs and studettes.
Yeet.
We've got a studette. A yee. We got a yee. Oh, snap,
That
son.
one's going on the soundboard.
That one's going on the soundboard. We're going to save that one for right there.
Yay!
We'll make it a
No,
happy little pretty
yee.
button.
Not yay,
Yee.
yee. There we go.
Yee. But yeah, so for Who You Reppin', Jan, what you got for me today?
I'm repping the homies from Hollowfront, and in particular, I am repping their May the 4th merch. I had to get it. I'm a massive Star Wars nerd. They came out with Star Wars themed merch. I'm like, fuck yeah, I want this. Hollowfront is a melodic deathcore band. I think we'd call that. I don't know.
They've gone through quite a changes of
They
late.
have.
But I would call them, I don't know if I'd call them, no, maybe deathcore.
I mean, it's there somewhere. It's they're well worth checking out if you're into bands with more of an atmospheric metal vibe.
Yes, they're very atmospheric.
One of their biggest changes.
Their guitarist has started singing the cleans.
it's the clean singing.
It's so
and
good.
Honestly, their clean singing makes that band for me. I love their screams. But
I
good
love
God,
their
the
I love their
combination.
atmosphere.
Yes.
So I've brought up Hollowfront a few times on
Yes.
this show, and
The
Hollowfront
mood
is
is that.
fucking amazing, even from the early shit. But they never had the guitarist really doing the backups to the level that they're doing now.
Yeah.
And oh my God, has that just changed the whole feel of it? Because they were always atmospheric, but it was always just heavy screaming because the lead singer didn't want to do cleans. He didn't feel he could.
Yeah.
So they got the guitarist to start doing it for the last album, Loose Threads. And then they just got done releasing an acoustic rendition album of a lot of their music. Oh my God. Even the lead
Yeah.
singer, who's not like clean, but he's doing cleaner because of the acousticness of it, it sounds so great. And these guys can like straight up punch you in the face kind of heavy.
Yes.
But when they want to, they can bring it back, and it's just
Yeah,
so emotionally grabbing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's-
it's fantastic.
It's like an atmospheric version of the Unguided kind of.
Oh,
if I
okay.
were to have to put it somewhere, I love the.
Are you going to turn around
Oh, I should turn around, shouldn't I?
so that way they can see what I'm going to blow up later?
That's no moon.
It's that ass.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I'm going to blow that ass up.
Speaking of dad ass, who you repping, Blaine?
Whoa. Whoa. We're going there, huh? Okay. So I am representing the homies in Sleep Signals. So I really enjoy Sleep Signals. They're more of a band for fans of like Atreyu, stuff like that. God, I don't know why I'm blanking on names on all of a sudden. Oh, my Lord. Anyway, but Sleep Signals is really good. They just got done actually touring with Atreyu before the pandemic hit. It was really cool. And I think they toured with, not As I Lay Dying, starts with an A. No help?
A Day to Remember? I don't
There,
know.
A Day to Remember. They got done touring with them as well. Sleep Signals are great guys. Really like them a lot. Robert Cosgrove is a singer. I think he's the only original member. He's kind of kept it alive for all these years, and he's replaced people as needed. Super stellar dudes. They make great merch. I love their merch line of stuff that they make. I love
Hell
baseball
energy on
tees.
stage, too.
Yeah, they're great guys. Stage performance.
Yes.
They get lights. They've got a whole computer brain set up with their misters and their foggers and everything. And
Yeah, they definitely take some power to run.
Yes, they do. But I mean, when you go up there, I mean, even if it's in a small venue, it's the big game lights. It's such a great performance.
They make
on
my
stage.
photographer heart happy.
Yes, they do. Now, it was funny though, because they're actually the ones that had that worst scenario thing happen where I brought up the whole thing where somebody mixed up the wrong concoction into the fog machine, and so it like fogged the area that we had them for the show at the Eagles, and no one could see after like the first
I remember
minute,
that.
Yep.
and we were all like, I can't see anything. Darkness. I got hit in the face. But they're not a super heavy band. They're more of a mainstream metal. But they're really good.
Yes.
They're really good. And they just dropped a new EP, Ethereal.
Yes.
I actually have my record on the way, and if I'm lucky enough, I'll get one of the test copies, because they're giving away 7 test copies, because that's what they got when they did the record presses.
I know.
I really want to get a hold of one of those bastards, and I've made that clear. Like, I'm buying the record. You best make me win it. But if I don't win, it's whatever. I love records, so I'm
We
a sucker
can
for
be
that
bribed.
shit. We can be bribed,
I'm just throwing that out there.
but don't bribe. I would like people to win fairly.
I still want that 20.
That's between you and her, man. And that's 10. Thank you. 10 of it would be mine. But yeah, so Sleep Signals, really great guys. You can find them on like iTunes, Spotify, anything and everything. They're all over the freaking internet. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
And-
blah blah blah.
I'm trying to think. I may be misremembering this. Are they not one of the bands who has been starting to talk about touring again soon too?
Yes, they absolutely are getting ready to tour again soon, and possibly with a bear that I know. But it's one of those things that
Sounds
yes,
like a fuzzy idea.
it's a fuzzy idea. It's just a fuzzy afterthought.
Gives me pause.
Gives me pause. I can barely stand not knowing the info at this point.
Oh, are you gonna cave?
No, I'm in a cave. That's the difference. But no, check out Sleep Signals. They're really good. Cool guys. They will have a big tour announcement coming soon, and that's all I'll say for now.
Yeah.
Now, did I have you guys play with Sleep Signals?
Yes.
That's right.
Sleep
I
Signals
did.
and Cold Kingdom, which is
And
who I'm
Cold
wearing right now.
You guys were on the Torito Supreme.
Torito
Yes.
Supreme. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I guess that answers.
You should post a link in the comments of or in the bios or whatever it's called to that Doritos.
If I can
Supreme.
find that tour poster, I will definitely throw it in.
No,
Yeah.
it's not a poster. It's a video.
Oh,
It's
that's
the
right.
one that
Jakob
Jakob
made the video
from Zen
Yes.
Media, and that was fucking cool
That was
sponsorship
awesome
on
as
that
shit,
one. That
yes.
one was dope as hell.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Summer,
So
who you repping?
this is Cold Kingdom, and we got to play the show with them and Sleep Signals at the same time. And I really enjoyed them. I love seeing female-fronted bands because it's not very common most of the time when we play. I think I've played with 2 others, so I was super pumped. I'm really bad at classifying genres.
I would say they're hard rock.
Yeah.
They're pretty much in the same category as Sleep Signals. They're like
Yeah.
a hard rock mainstream metal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that Cold Kingdom, since they also have their new singer.
Yeah. 'Cause Danny's not their singer anymore.
Which is sad because she was really good.
She was
Yeah.
awesome.
But the new singer is really good as
Yes.
well. So
Yeah, I really like them.
Yeah, they're-
Cherish the shirt.
And I believe that they have also been working on new material. They may have dropped something recently, actually. I have to double check.
Oh, sick.
But I also know that they've been doing a lot of Facebook Live concerts.
Yeah.
And acoustic sets and trying out new things during the pandemic. And I think that's fucking dope. And I think more bands should do that.
Definitely.
Agur. Gur.
Grr.
Gur.
Meow. Meow.
Do a dance. do, 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 do. Gur. Do you not know what Gur is? Shut up. Anyway, so Cold Kingdom. But yeah, no, they were fantastic. I was really stoked when I got to see them. They actually would be the one that stole the show that night for me.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
they owned that night.
Mostly because their power stayed on for the whole set.
Yeah.
Look, I try to put fucking tape over plugins so people don't plug into the things that they shouldn't plug into. Okay? And that building was not exactly the best setup for it. It just worked out for the time.
What I will definitely say, though, about Cold Kingdom, the energy that she had on stage, their previous...
I'm sorry, what was her name?
Danny?
Danny.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the energy she had on stage... I had trouble following her with my camera that night.
Yeah, she
was
owned it.
everywhere.
Yeah, she was
and
all
it
over
was
the place.
hilarious because minutes before that, she was kind of sitting down and just bopping her head to the music. Then she went on stage like a Tasmanian devil, and then she sat back down.
And just
That
chilled.
was fucking amazing.
It was really crazy. I was not expecting her to be that energetic with how she was sitting at the merch table and stuff like that. She just kind of chilled.
Yeah,
Then she got up there and just owned it.
I remember the show starting, and she had like her hair up and a flannel on, and then she threw the flannel, and her hair came down, and she was like all over the place.
She had a leather or pleatherish brown jacket too, and that came off. That's what then revealed the flannel, and then she got rid of the flannel, and she had just like kind of like a short sleeved shirt.
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to check my photos.
I don't know. You have photos of the whole thing, but
It's like
I mean,
a whole
she
transformation.
she literally was like just jumping nonstop,
Yeah.
constantly
I was gonna say,
interacting
I don't
with
have
the
a
crowd.
single photo where both her feet are on the ground.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she was going.
Yeah, watching her, I was like, man, I need to work on my like cardio stamina because I'm chunky and I want to do that. So
It's okay. I'm Captain Dad Bod. So
There you go.
if I can't keep on my feet, I just fall on my back and flail my legs and arms. So.
yeah, that's the one thing about music coming back. It's like, oh, I gained that quarantine like 19. I'm like, we're gonna see. But
I can't say shit.
It's all good
Yeah.
in the hood. But
It
cool. So where were we at?
I think we're kind of rounding it up.
Oh, that was the end of Who You're Reppin', wasn't it? Yeah.
And I think that kind of leads us back to the point. We made it before. I think all three of us have made it at some point.
Real quick, just because we just talked about Danny a lot more, I do want to reiterate that with Cold Kingdom, their new singer is fantastic. Do you happen to know the name off the top of your head?
I don't. I'm so bad with names.
I am too, so that's what made it hard. That's why I had to ask you, what was her name again? But the new singer's fantastic. If you haven't checked out
she's
Cold
really
Kingdom, she really does do a good job. She's not Danny, but she's brought her own style that really suits well with the band, and it's not bad in any way, shape, or form. So go check them out.
Yeah, I still love them just as much now. So it's like she's great.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed with I think I've listened to about 4 tracks with her on it. I haven't bought like the newest album with her on it, so it's definitely one of those things I need to get around to. But what I've heard, really good. But with that being said, I think Jan is trying to find the name.
I'm trying to quickly find the name, and I can't
You're
find
failing,
it.
dude.
I am failing horribly. I'm
Failing
sorry.
so horribly right now. Can we move on? Are you good? Are you done with your phone? Okay. I love you, Jan. I love you. you.
I'm scared.
You should be. I'm going to blow up that Death Star.
Run away.
Anyway, with that being said, so that brings us to the end of our topic.
Love each other. Take care of each other. Reach out if you need any help, please. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook.
Hit that notification bell.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Hit that notification bell. Ding.
And if you don't like us, go ahead and hit that unlike button
Twice.
So, but yeah, no, follow us on Facebook, Papa Bear and Associates. You can email us at papabeargigs@hotmail.com, GIGS. Shows are coming back. I announced it recently. We're going to be having shows coming back, probably looking at the end of July, August for the first ones to kick in. And as a promise that I made towards the beginning of the pandemic, in the middle of the pandemic, I am still going to be keeping my promise to everybody, and the first 2 to 3 shows are going to be free, absolutely free to the public, because I think we all need it now more than ever.
Yep.
Obviously, we are still dealing with the trails of the pandemic. So we will be doing safety precautions and cleaning precautions, and we will be announcing more of that information as it comes. But music's coming back, and that's what I think matters most, is that we all have that place to kind of like ragtag up again. So really excited about that. And then
see all the wonderful faces again.
I just want to see everybody smiling again.
Definitely.
That's all I care about. Obviously, those being free shows, as I've always stated, I still pay my bands. I do not expect bands to play for free. So if anybody is concerned with that, that is not a concern. I will be making sure that the bands get paid. But past that, that's pretty much about it. And speaking of bands and performances, I might have a proposition for you guys as well. So make sure to stay and not just drive out of here as soon as we're done with this, so that way I can chat with you guys about that too.
Definitely.
And then do you want to say one more time where they can find Third Park Avenue?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook and Instagram at Third Park Avenue on all the platforms. Eventually we'll put more
it's right
music
down
back
here.
out.
It's on the screen.
It's on the
Can't
screen.
you fucking see that?
It's
What
right
the
on
hell?
my forehead. It's right here.
Yeah.
Don't make me kiss you. Talk shit, get kissed.
You fucking meowed.
I was debating if she did that or the wow, wow, wow,
I did that, but also meowed. It's both.
Got this feeling right, baby. Trying to hold back this feeling for so long. With that being said, though, I am Blaine, a.k.a. Papa Bear. To my left is Jan the photographer.
I'm scared.
And to my right is Summer the musician. Say something. Don't just...
Hello.
Oh, this is the bye part of the show.
Goodbye.
And if you would like to be a guest on BPMs, please feel free to hit me up. Message, Facebook, email, whatever.
Smoke
It's all
signals.
great. Smoke signals. Just make sure that you use the tarp, because it doesn't work well if you don't tarp it. But with that being said, much love to you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Papa Bear and Associates does not take any responsibility for sexual complications while listening to this program. Side effects have been known to include sweating, extended and unexpected erections, perked nipples, butt clenching, inflammation of the testicles, and anal seepage. Furthermore, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, you should make sure to send us your non-graphic pictures for our viewing pleasure. Thank you and much love.